Nigeria at 65. 65 wahala still hold us down. Nigeria at 65, light no dey steady. Nigeria at 65, fuel scarcity dey come like harmattan breeze. Nigeria at 65, bad road still dey spoil our motor shock observer. Nigeria at 65, ASUU strike still dey reset student destiny. Nigeria at 65, police checkpoint still dey drain pocket pass toll gate. Nigeria at 65, clean water still be luxury. Nigeria at 65, doctors dey japa, patients dey suffer. Nigeria at 65, election no still dey straight. Nigeria at 65, hunger still dey humble lion. Nigeria at 65, NEPA bill still no match supply. Nigeria at 65, youth still dey waka street without job. Nigeria at 65, government hospital still no get paracetamol. Nigeria at 65, teachers still dey wait for salary like miracle. Nigeria at 65, inflation still dey swallow salary like puff puff. Nigeria at 65, bandits still dey turn villages to ghost town. Nigeria at 65, kidnapping still dey run like business. Nigeria at 65, corruption still dey wear agbada. Nigeria at 65, graduates still dey push wheelbarrow. Nigeria at 65, land wahala still dey scatter families. Nigeria at 65, house rent still dey high like mountain. Nigeria at 65, landlord still dey chase ten ant like criminal. Nigeria at 65, court case still dey last pass Old Testament. Nigeria at 65, job employment still dey ask 65 years working experience. Nigeria at 65, security, police, soldier still dey hungry pass house help. Nigeria at 65, pensioners still dey queue like beggars. Nigeria at 65, politicians still dey chop palliative. Nigeria at 65, fake drugs still dey finish patients quick. Nigeria at 65, market women still dey change price every day like exchange rate. Nigeria at 65, flood still dey turn street to river. Nigeria at 65, traffic still dey waste people life. Nigeria at 65, conductor still dey shout pass megaphone. Nigeria at 65, fuel at ten dant still dey adjust meter. Nigeria at 65, agro dey collect levy without invoice. Nigeria at 65, same old leaders still dey recycle theirself in power. Nigeria at 65, Nollywood still dey repeat the same storyline. Nigeria at 65, artists still no dey get protection. Nigeria at 65, politicians still dey lie with bold face. Nigeria at 65, vote buying still dey flow with rice and wrapper. Nigeria at 65, children still dey hawk instead of school. Nigeria at 65, government project still dey abandon for halfway. Nigeria at 65, people still dey build house wey no get drainage. Nigeria at 65, generator noise still be national anthem. Nigeria at 65, phone snatchers still dey own the street. Nigeria at 65, Yahoo Plus don turn employment. Nigeria at 65, cult clash still dey waste young lives. Nigeria at 65, civil servants still dey chop bribe before file dey move. Nigeria at 65, custom officers still dey flex for border. Nigeria at 65, fake certificate hustle still dey trend. Nigeria at 65, rich men children still dey graduate without sabi book. Nigeria at 65, beggars network still dey organized pass government. Nigeria at 65, dirty still dey block gutter. Nigeria at 65, bus driver still dey overload like sardine. Nigeria at 65, pension fund still dey vanish. Nigeria at 65, local government no still get local projects. Nigeria at 65, people still dey dump dirty inside river. Nigeria at 65, politician promise still no dey reach ground. Nigeria at 65, one person fit get 12 voters cards. Nigeria at 65, NIN registration still dey frustrate people. Nigeria at 65, SIM registration still dey stress pass exam. Nigeria at 65, passport matter still dey drag like snail. Nigeria at 65, visa still dey hard like heaven gate. Nigeria at 65, nepotism still dey block merit. Nigeria at 65, government projects still dey die without main ten ance. Nigeria at 65, hope still dey shake but Nigerians still dey hold on. Nigeria at 65, wahala still full ground but hope dey. If we no rise, we go still dey count the same wahala at 75. My brother man and sister woman, I salute una. Una doh.